What if I told you that your relationship or how you use your money is actually keeping you from reaching the pinnacle of wealth that you actually want? Salutations and fist bumps, folks. Welcome back to the Blerdy Investor. And in this video, we're going to talk about 5 things that you should avoid like the plague if you want to build wealth. So the first thing that you should never spend your at least earned money on is new electronics. Specifically, you should buy used or refurbished wherever you possibly can. Buying used electronics or refurbished electronics usually is cheaper most of the time, but at present, it also gives you more of a chance to find the thing that you're looking for. Because let's say you're looking for a PS5 or something like that, you might find it easier if you look for it refurbished or used or slightly used if you can possibly find one of those. Now, not saying that you would actually find a PS5 at this current market rate used, but just in case if you were looking, you would be better off going that route than buying one that was new. Especially if you're going for a laptop or a MacBook or something like that, you'll probably be better off going refurbished, especially because now there's supply issues and chip shortages and all that kind of stuff. So buying used or refurbished goods would always be better, especially if you're talking about electronics. Also, keep in mind that if you need more than one of these particular items, you'll be able to buy in bulk. Say like if you have children, like I do, if you're trying to buy multiple of the same thing, but you're trying to buy it new, you're going to pay way more. So it's better if you just decide that, hey, go and buy it used. It'll be pretty much the same thing. They will never know, and you'll save a lot more money in the long run. And if you buy from sites like Mercari or eBay, they usually have protection so that if you, let's say for example, you get an empty box where you actually ordered a MacBook Pro or something like that, they'll protect you from that particular mishap that might have happened. Or if the item comes to you damaged, they also cover that as well. And in my opinion, it's a pretty sweet deal, honestly. Next up on our list would be extended warranties or service plans. Simply put, most products usually hold up and are good products overall. So most of the time, you're paying for something that you're probably not going to use. And the money made from the service plan is pretty much free money for the company. They didn't have to do anything, not make another product or create another situational thing for you to buy. It was literally you just bought something that they came up with out of thin air and then brought it down to their bottom line. And sometimes, not all the time is this the case, the service plan that you buy or the extended warranty, whatever you want to call it, usually it might even be way overpriced than the actual valuation of the item that you're buying. And it's probably already covered by the manufacturer's warranty anyway. And me personally, I can speak from this firsthand because I used to work for Geek Squad way back in long time ago, way back. Then we most of the time had computers that would come and be serviced underneath the manufacturer's warranty because most people didn't want to pay for the service plan that would pay us a little bit more if we actually sold them. But 9 times out of 10, we could still service the computer or the electronic device without an extended warranty or service plan at all. Sometimes that wasn't the case though, because there are some situations where like an accident or spill happens. That's the only time in terms of this type of an example where it makes sense to buy one of those if you have small children and you know for a fact that accidents are going to happen around your electronics. That's the only thing that I would say to buy this for. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense because again, it's literally a money grab for the company because most products are good or good enough to just carry you through to the end of their life. And then at that point, you're just gonna buy something new anyway. So the next thing on our list would be buying name brand clothes way more than you probably need to. And when I say way more than you need to, I mean buying a t-shirt that's $400, which probably cost $20 to really make or less, and in a retail Target store or like something like that, JCPenney even, I don't know, wherever you shop, you don't necessarily have to pay $400 for a t-shirt that's not going to make you fly. What I'm saying here is, and what I'm getting at is, it doesn't need to cost that much for you to be fly every day of your life. Let's just take, for example, you took the same $400 into a department store and you left out with way more. What you now have is probably a wardrobe for the entire year, and you don't even have to go back to the store unless you want to. So you're saving time and money. You can take that 380 and then go and invest, because again, the materials are the same. Maybe they're a little softer. That's about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I have made my share of purchases like Jordans and stuff like that in the past. But other than that, that's pretty much the only thing that's name brand that I can name in my home. And furthermore, we only do that when it's a big deal, like an anniversary or a birthday or something like that. Otherwise, we don't spend that type of money every single weekend or month at all. And yes, buying a quality pair of shoes like Jordans or actual Nikes or something like that, especially if you're a runner, yes, that might be a good buy for you. Again, if you're a runner and you need support for your feet, buy the Asics. I would definitely tell you to, because it's going to benefit you long term in your health, and health is wealth in general. Next thing up on the list, do not, I repeat, do not buy a brand new car. And I can say this from experience because I bought a new car recently and I was kicking myself when I did it afterwards. And this is probably something that I've heard my entire life since I was 16, because my mother preached it to no end. So the reason why you want to buy used is because as soon as you drive that thing off of the lot, you're losing 10 to 15% of the actual value of the car just by driving it. And that, my friends, is probably the worst type of investment that you can possibly have. Not only is it a liability, it's also, yes, a type of investment, but a losing investment, because it's always going to depreciate in value year after year. So you might as well hedge that already by buying a used car that has stood the test of time at this point, and that you understand will actually work at least up to 5 to 7 years, so that you can get the best bang for your buck inside of that time frame. You literally are leaving money on the table, ground, or wherever, depending on where you actually drive it off from, because nowadays you can actually have a car delivered to you at your home. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to drive it off of a lot, but you get my point. There was a study that Carfax did a few years ago that determined how much value you actually lose when you're leaving from a dealership buying a new car. And in the study, it shows that you're skipping over the depreciation factor by 60%, because in the first 3 years, that's how much depreciation actually happens to a car when you buy it used. So again, I reiterate, I say this as loud as I possibly can. Do not buy a new car if you can help it. And 9 times out of 10, you can. And last but not least on our list is eating out or buying highly consumable goods more than once or twice a month, possibly even in a week. And especially if you're eating out every day, please stop that now. And I'm saying this again from my own experience. My family and I used to eat out every single day when my daughter was about 1 to 2 years old or somewhere around there. Now, we weren't on a first name basis yet. Actually, we ordered and used Uber Eats way too much. Mainly because both of us were exhausted by the time that we got home, and we didn't feel like cooking anything, because not only were we having to work 8-hour days every single day, we also have to sit in traffic and also go get my daughter at that point from daycare and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of stuff going on. We were new parents. We didn't know how to handle all this stuff. That was how we handled it, okay? To the point, and I'm making this very clear. This is something that I'm preaching to myself here at the same time.
You ain't just whistling Dixie!
To the point that my daughter pretty much learned that we could order anything from our phones. So she would say a specific thing that she wanted, and if we didn't have it in the house, she would say, you can just order it. And again, imagine this as a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old telling you this. This is not normal.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No.
Now, though it was very cute in the moment, it was a wake-up call to both of us that we needed to make some changes, and make some changes fast. Especially once we started looking at our bank statement and realized, hey, we ordered Uber Eats a lot, a whole lot. And if you have ever used Uber Eats at any point in your life, you know that those fees are terrible. So what we found, and this is the advice that I would pass off to you, eating at home is just cheaper, and it usually tastes better, and it's healthier all at the same time. So yeah, just eat at home. Now that you're saving some money, I want to tell you exactly what you need to do to actually maximize what you just saved. This video is going to tell you exactly what you should be prioritizing with the savings savings that you just made. And hey, fam, if nobody else has told you this, it's possible. I believe in us, so you believe in you. Let's get this done. I'll see you in the next video.